late night when we started that that last meeting. So the key is, I don't remember like if you had a chance to really obviously do too much, right? And today is going to be the day where you can actually do it. But the key is, I'm here to remind you, and maybe you can tell me in your notes or what you remember of what I guess what are your priorities to sort of get done.
So basically, we generated one SOP idea. First, I want to start with that,
Yeah.
like how to introduce a link how to add outside link to a blog.
Yeah, that's fine too. I mean, you can do those types of SOPs. Uh, One of the things that you saw, what you call, um, uh, with that girl, Anisha, it was a very challenging experience, right? And I know that for a fact because I've gone through this with you, right? And in fact, it was funny that again your performance was the best out of anybody, considering that's not your strong suit. You know what I mean? Again, that's where practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, you could see it wasn't very strong with her. Um, Basically, we're gonna go through this right now in a minute. I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna do a screen share, and and um, let's see. And we're gonna see what she's been able to come up with as well. So let me go into here, and can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So let's take a look here. Now she actually let me just if I go to the back. This is the interesting thing. This is what I mean where you have to kind of redo submit it for indexing when it's done. In this case, I came up with something close to what her title was, right? Facts on down and feather lot. You know what I mean? I just yeah. So we came up with the top because it's the closest, obviously. But you can see it's still indexing for the old title right now. If I click it, you'll see this won't be the title because she had just changed it. That's why it's important to send it in. So this is the title that she came up with, right? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to decide what to do in this situation soon, right? So what that basically means is like we've already paid her for like so far 3 days or about I think 19 hours comes out to about $300 Canadian, right? And now I don't know how well this one is finally done, but we need to move quicker than this, right? Because even there were a lot of mistakes that she would even recognize, like simple, just grammar mistakes and things like that, right? Okay, so I want you to read the title, then I want you to read what she came up because this is all totally brand new, and then give me your thoughts on it, considering how much we know about this particular blog because we've worked on it, and then she worked on it. Go ahead.
All right. So, top facts to know about down, fill power, and loft. Even wondered. Give
Ever.
me a second. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my screen was too small. Now I make it like full screen. Okay. So, ever wondered what makes your down pillow or comforter good? Is it fill power, loft, weight, insulation, or all of it? Fill power is the measurement of loft or fluff. A higher fill power means your comforter or pillow will remain its firmness longer, provide greater insulation, and generate an altogether lighter and fluffier experience. The type of filling directly affects your duet's warmth, weight, price, and feel. Moreover, choosing the right insulation material could help you get a comfortable sleep. Hence, Feel Power can help you to understand what makes certain down product like goose and duck down duvets a premium sleep accessory.
Okay, so give me your thoughts on the title And this, I think, this whole first paragraph, because remember, this is the paragraph which is the key in, in trying to rank, right? Because that's what Google is looking for, relevancy in the title.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
On the same, what I'm thinking is that this is not a top fact about download and fill power.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I don't think you could say that, or I could say anything without having all the tabs open of all the competitors and everything.
Mhm.
On its surface, it's a very bold, statement from you.
Mhm.
What we have to do only at this point is take her that for granted that she's at least able to do this a level of SEO work after spending so much time. I don't know,
Mhm.
right? I can tell you one thing, which you should have noticed, that this is much better than what was there before, because she even admitted what
Mhm.
was there before was a complete mess because it didn't make sense with the relevancy of the title. Remember, we were
Mhm.
talking about that at the end of the meeting. I go, what's the biggest problem with the conclusion? It doesn't match the title.
Mhm.
Remember?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
same thing. So I think now I don't know if this is the best. If she went in, got all the proper snippets, and combined them properly. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We can't say on its surface, but at least it's better than what it was.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now let's just, you know what? We don't even have time to check a lot of. Um, let's just check out some of these links. So at least this is a decent introduction, right? So, and it's
Mhm.
very easy to understand. This is similar to the kind of stuff that you see again with most blogs, similar to Neil Patel and everybody else, right? So in this case, this is the link to the Jasper. Let's see how it's. Check out Down Under's How to Write Goose Down Blanket with Corner Ties. Do you remember any particular area that that um that you were looking for?
I remember the top part that slash is now updated.
Yeah. Well, again, to me, that's good. You got it, but the thing again, that's very minor. I'm more looking to see.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a,
The last thing, conclusion one.
yeah. I'm gonna get to the conclusion in a minute. I'm just first checking to see because I don't have time to go through this in detail because I don't have,
Mhm.
that's another hour right there. That would be wasted.
Mhm.
So then, in this case, she found an outside link to some kind of a world expert travel thing, Down versus Goose Town. So let's see what kind of introduction she did. Many brands do not highlight the fill power weight. This can leave you not experience as the weight of your impacts the installation as stated by World. So okay, here this is fine. She did some kind of outside and she stated it, right? So
Mhm.
it's pretty clear. I would be interested to knowing if she's able to bring this down in volume. Okay, the bottom line. The better the quality, the higher the price will be. If you're looking for an ultra lightweight and highly compressed duvet, jacket, or another item, it's better to go with more fill power. But if you want to consider something more affordable and the weight, the bulkiness and height factor, you could go with one. Okay, so
Isn't it same?
yeah, to me it looks about the same, right?
Mhm.
So well, I don't know if that really needs to be changed. Who knows? I don't know. Do you understand what I mean? Because not everything needs to be changed. Otherwise, we
Yes,
would
yes.
redo the whole thing. So what I'm
Mhm.
saying to you for now is uh, uh, we're gonna have to assume that this is good enough, right? It's certainly better than what we had. You know what I mean? But we spent, if you add all the time that we spent together, maybe an
Mhm.
hour or 2 hours, then teaching her, then another hour today. We must spend 5 hours on this blog alone,
Yes, yes.
and that's only redoing one blog. If that's how our speed, we're not going to get anywhere. So what we're
Yeah.
going to do for now is just re-index this one, and then she's going to go on to the next one, and I'm going to have to decide if she by the next one if she can work quick enough, because and properly, because basically what you're gonna have to do, and I'm going to go in tomorrow when I get a chance, is go into the Google sheet to compare what she wrote to what it was originally there. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Compare that, like if she put the word count, how many words were originally there, so what she reduced it even. I want to know those kinds of details. Let me see.
Re-index blog. Okay.
So, any questions at this point? Hopefully, I'll take care.
Yeah, I watched your email. I saw your email about signature,
Let's see.
LinkedIn
Yeah, yeah.
signature, and I like your that idea. On the same time, I can make it that quickly, but yeah, as we mutually decided, we should go with Barb.
Well, my point is, I think really more that speed. That's an example of speeding things up. Instead of 1 week following up with Barv and this and that, just go and do it. Right? So I just went and did it myself. And
Yes.
I could have even done a better job if I had set it up properly, where I can put it's a clickable link. You know what I mean? The link is on the outside, right? I can just fix that, and boom. Again, just saves time to get things done. Let's go on to the next item. So I guess you were going to sleep. So today, make sure you get to all those videos. And I want to know exactly, like, because the way things are, I don't know if you're going to have time to put any information in the Google Sheets, but those videos is exactly what you need to learn. How somebody who can be what I call the jack of all trades, right? They're the editor, they're the producer, they're the script writer, and all that, and they're giving you their details of what they do, how they kind of do it, and organize it from the beginning to have your kind of ideas and things. You know what I mean? The different TubeBuddy they use. That's an SEO, for example, a search engine tool for YouTube to look for things. Again, that's the kind of stuff that you should be doing if you're self-taught. I'm actually becoming your aggregator, which I shouldn't be, right? I'm actually doing, again, everything for you, because why? Because I need to figure out what the hell is taking so long, right? So like me being from the front of the kitchen, going to the back where the cooks are, and saying, like, I don't want to say anything too rude, but like, can we get can we start cooking a little bit faster? People are waiting, everybody's hungry, and that's what we need to do. Find ways to speed up the process. What I call is finding inefficiencies, right? Because just another example we talk about right now, which is this blog situation, right? If we combine it now, it took us 5 hours for that one blog just to redo it. You find a lot of it's within the training of you and the training of her. You know what I mean? Literally, I almost feel you could go back in and do a better job than her, right? But again, you had more experience on it. But
Yes,
the
yes,
whole
yes.
point is, I don't want to dilute something, right? If you're 80% of your energy, 90% is on these one tasks, that's where I want you to spend the focus. So even most of the blogs and things or the podcasts are kind of video editing, whatever, you know what I mean? Kind of related realm, right? It's not totally in the different tangent of, hey, I need a winning product on Amazon. Any questions on anything else before we move on to the next topic?
Well, not right now. We discussed almost everything like in our last meeting. That is
Yeah.
why.
Well, the key is uh, I'm here to reinforce things for you, so it speeds things up. And let me just do another quick screen share. You know what's really weird here? It says screen sharing is easiest with two monitors because I only have the one monitor. I think I need to get a second monitor. Everybody I know who's a big time seller always has two or sometimes three monitors.
Even Norm has three monitors. I watch I see
Well,
his video
well,
image
remember,
on
yeah, I don't
Facebook.
even have the space for two monitors. But then again,
Oh.
I'm not doing that kind of money yet. You know what I mean? So it's great, but we should all aspire to get to that level, right? Okay, let me just see here now. Because remember, I noticed you're telling me it's almost the screen share almost looks similar to what you used to see in Google Meeting, right? So it's rather small.
Yes, yes, yes.
So where were we? Hmm. I even forget where I wanted to get to. Yeah. So you know what? Let's in terms of the blogs, like because what? Look, we're heading into the end of the month, and I don't know if this is going to be the person who can actually write new blogs. I need new content. I think I'm going to have to do what I did, kind of like with a lot of other things, like perfect example, the press release and stuff. That was the kind of stuff I was hoping to hand off to people, right? And then I started to realize that that's not going to be possible, right?
Because not anyone knows the business better than you, right?
Well, I think part of it, and I think the other issue is really like, for example, nobody. It's the issue also of the copywriting too. Remember, at this point, there's nobody else, and if I'm pretty weak in copywriting, and I'm the best person for the copywriting, that's not a good sign, right? So that's why I'm trying to hire for my weakness, right? But let me ask you this: if we were going to do a press release today, based on everything you've seen in 1 year of working together, of the previous press releases, what would you want to do in the press release of the topic and why?
Right now, I would suggest to do press release on that gusseted pillar protector,
Right? That makes sense,
as
yeah?
it's a new product and a revolutionary product, we can say that. And we can describe the whole hustle of our customers and the whole scenario.
Yeah.
And we also can introduce a story like how you invented this product, and why do you think this product is the need of market. And we can introduce that all things in press release. I would
Yeah.
suggest that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's pretty like, you know, that's a good guess because. But let me ask you this: aside from that, in terms of a new product launch, what else would you come up with? Because do you see how I'm able to take even older content? I've taken videos from Deepa and Ariana from a few years ago and repurposed it so quickly. So, I mean, people wouldn't even know, right? And that's the beauty of what I'm finding the advantage of doing things quickly on the phone, and you need to kind of replicate that in other places. Like I was showing you, hey, listen, we were messing around the other day about when I uploaded that Amazon Live, right? And, or I said the last video I sent you with those snippets where we talked. Same thing. That's since I already gave you the timeline. Those are the minutes. Those are the kind of things where, hey, you should be able to do a quick edit, make some kind of nice graphic design or something at the bottom or the top if there's not there, and pump those babies out, right? And then then once I approve of it, then we can even do, hey, make another quick edit, and you have an Instagram version and stuff like that. You know. So again, to me, it all starts with that timeline. Do you remember how I gave you the exact moments, the 6 minute to 6:20 or whatever, and I'm telling you what it's about? I hope when that's part of your research, right? That's the kind of stuff when you've seen content you're looking at. You know what I was really impressed with last time Purav came over is when we're watching Netflix and we're watching TV, he's noticing the editing and he's even pointing out, hey, that was a good like kind of feature or the way they did that editing. And that kind of awareness I want from you. And you probably have that too. If you're watching TV or something, you're noticing the editing as well, right? But the key is how can you implement that quickly? That's the key. It's no good if you see these effects and things right? But if you can't implement it, and experiment, right? And but I do understand experiment takes time, but spend your time figuring out ways so it doesn't take forever. Because I'm assuming, again, out of 8 hours, you take 1 hour for miscellaneous stuff. You have 7 hours where you're spending most of your time, right? And that's enough time, with a half an hour break for lunch or whatever. Because one of the things I was thinking about the other day, and I really, I want to commend you for this, because I don't think I've I'm on your case a lot too, but I haven't commended you for the fact that, look, at your age, right? Kids out want to be outside with their friends and doing stuff, and so they don't want to be alone, sitting alone in a room, kind of like this all day, right? It's tough because you don't have that social interaction that's missing.
Mm, that's I don't think so kind of true, but if
Okay,
you are saying then.
I'm just telling you what a lot of kids that age might feel. Right? I'm glad you don't feel that, because that's what helps you to do what you do. You know what I mean? And that's really, really important, because when I was your age, I wasn't like that. I was like, hey, I don't want to be stuck work. I don't want to have lunch alone. I don't want to. You know what I'm trying to say? And and it's not easy. And I'll give you an example. Even in our work spot, right? Harshit and Mohit almost every day, they almost insist on having lunch together, because that's their kind of one moment for half an hour they can kind of just not talk about work and just and be friends and casual, right? And that's great, because I know, because their desks are in separate areas. I eat lunch alone all the time. When you're an entrepreneur, it can be a lonely life, right? And I'm glad you have that part of the mindset down pat, right? But remember, the other part of the mindset is something different. Let me ask you this: what part areas would you say that you really feel that you want to improve on? And I'm not talking about little things like, say, copywriting, task based. I'm talking about big things that you would want to say, this is areas that I feel I can improve on and see growth.
Basically, on a big task, I didn't have anything in my mind right away to say.
Okay. What I would do is, let me ask you this. I'll ask you more in depth then. Like, what would make you more entrepreneurial? Like, what do you think that would make in your mindset entrepreneur?
Doing things by my own and generating new ideas about things is make me more entrepreneurial.
Right, right. But the main thing is, though, do you feel that's your strength? Like, do you feel your strength is to be an entrepreneur, or not really at this point?
Yeah, I feel my strength are being entrepreneurial.
You feel your strength is to be an
Yes,
entrepreneur.
I feel that sometimes, but not all days because I have to work on things as well. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, that's good, because remember, you can do both, right? It's not a zero sum world, a zero sum game, right? The key is how you manage that time, right? Because if you don't manage that time wisely, it's going to be a waste. And I'll just give you a quick example of the mindset of what I mean. So today, what happened was, at 5 o'clock when we close up, right? Moy couldn't stay longer because he only stays once a week now. And the new girl, and she was leaving it, and she said, aren't you gonna come? I go, no, I have work to do. And she was like, what? Oh, it's like Sunday night. Like, who's gonna? You should go home and relax. And she doesn't, because to me, she doesn't understand. I'm doing stuff not because I necessarily even have to, and I have to because I have a lot of things to do. I have checks to write and payments, but I'm also doing it because I love it, right? And and that's the kind of mindset you need to get, right? But the deeper mindset is good. You have the work ethic. I know that. It's having a game plan for success. Because if you don't have that game plan for success, you don't want to tap out too early. Remember, that's what I told you, right? In that article, like, if you're just going to be, say, a VA, right? You've already reached the top of how much kind of what you can make. Maybe maximum you make double, but you want to go for the gold. But good thing is you have so much time, right? look for your opportunity. It's like the tiger. They're looking around, right? And the key is, though, you have to take your chance at some point. Okay, so any questions, especially regarding the video editing that we talked about?
No. We discussed each and everything, and I have notes to work on right now.
Okay, yeah, please, because make those different versions. Now, I hope you understand even what. Let me ask you this: why do you think I was interested in removing any footage of Harshid or in general, especially of him or his face or whatever?
I'm not sure. I think it doesn't make video good according to your things. So
Okay,
that is
what
why
if
I'm
I
not
told you with a different reason too? What if I'm thinking strategically long term, right? I have no idea um, if Harshid would is still going to be here 6 months or 6 years,
sure.
right? So these kinds of things can be very complicated when I have somebody's image there, and technically we don't even have a release form. Do you understand what I mean? And like when you somebody like family, you can't ask for like a release form at this point. You know what I mean? At this point. But what I'm saying too is that, do you understand how I'm planning strategically? Right? Meaning that tomorrow, if there's some issue, that listing is still going fine, right? Because nobody can, I don't have to make any change because nobody can say to me, could you please remove my image? Because even if you had a release form, it still wouldn't be ethical. Right? Do I want to have my former or vice president, or I would say, right? Because he's really more of a vice president. But this is the kind of stuff I need you to think about. Right? Because if you don't think about these kinds of things, just like I put in your head regarding that whole issue regarding LinkedIn, right? When I pointed those kind of things out to you, that
Yes.
yeah, it's like that needs to come organically from you, right? That's not the kind of stuff that I could task base and things and
Then what I would suggest is don't record Harshad now.
well,
Like don't film on Harshad now.
well, listen. In 1 second, that can be changed and stuff like that. Do you understand?
Yes.
We at this point we were just going with who we have. You know what I mean? You have to, because we're more interested in getting this stuff out here. But now I'm thinking, hey, long term, I want to think about these kinds of things. I don't know, right? And I need to be very strategic. I'll give you another thing. Like for example, remember we were talking about investing potentially in Calgary. So that's a market that has more potential because it was depressed much longer and so forth, right? Remember that?
Yes.
I found out recently that Harshid had already invested in Calgary.
Or okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So I didn't know that either until we talked yesterday. So what I'm saying to you is, in this case, I'll give you an example. My vice president, that's his second investment property. He has more investment properties than I do even.
Okay.
So you understand? This is exactly what I want. I would like to even see from you, and that's why I'm on your case. In a few years, he's only been here 5 years, and he's on track to be even having a bigger house and having more wealth than even me. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's
Yes.
and he doesn't go around even telling the whole world. I didn't even know. So he told me he invested last summer. Right, that's why. And the second round of that is they're even asking 60,000 more. Second phase, you know what I mean? So he feels he's already made profit, and really anything you invest in Canadian real estate, you won't lose. Like I'd say almost most places in the world, but Canada is an extreme case because of immigration and just low interest rates in general. So what's your takeaway from the fact that I just told you Harshid had already invested in Calgary? Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
it's great that he's already reinvested. He can give you ideas about properties and things.
Yeah. And what you call, I also told him, listen, we can all learn from each other. But I pointed out, hey, that kind of contact who was that guy Ravinder Minas, right? Remember I told you that we were talking about him earlier. I was surprised he even took my friendship application, right? So he's the fish that we go after, the target, right? And then every day long, I get requests from India and Pakistan and all these places. People, that's how the social hierarchy system works. And once we acknowledge it, instead of like pretending it doesn't exist, we're much better off. Because I got to wrap this up. But remember, I feel maybe, who knows, some point this year, I might even introduce you to that book that changed my life. Do you remember that name of that book or no?
Yes, I remember.
Well, what's it called?
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the most important thing. The first chapter of that book is the most important. And if it doesn't even apply to you, maybe at this age it doesn't apply to you. Maybe it might be more applicable later on in your life. But literally, because it talks about all the things that we don't necessarily want to talk about. It's the elephant in the room, right? And it's like, in a sense, we're playing a game, right? And it's how you play that game, right? And I'll give you an example. I'm a type of person that I wouldn't be a good poker player because I show my emotions, right? You may be a better poker player because maybe you don't show your emotions so much, right? And that sometimes that can be good, and sometimes that can be bad. But according to that book, it's mainly really good to hide your emotions, right? Because then you become an enigma. Nobody knows if you're upset or you're happy because you have a very stoic look on your face,
Okay.
right? I'm just saying that in general, that's what you want to necessarily be, right? And again, there's a lot of things in that book I don't necessarily even agree with, but I don't say that's not necessarily factual, right? It's just the world that we live in, right? So again, I haven't talked to you about anything else in terms of any other books. You get to, if you can get to those books, because I don't want to push you to do too much. I need to show you that you can be the best, videograph, you know what I mean, person. We call it VP, video person. First, the same thing. Like, I don't know how. Try to at least keep up with your range in the push up. I just did 2 reps before I came in. I'm going to try to get to another rep even, because for me it's even more heroic because of my age, and I'm doing it now with a totally different diet. Literally, I'm almost doing it the same diet as what you call of Jesse. The only thing is Jesse does take dairy, but he's vegetarian too.
Yes, yes, yes,
Can
yes.
you imagine such a successful person? And did you end up listening to the whole thing of Living with Seal or no?
No, 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 no. I didn't started that work yet.
You didn't even start that book. Okay, well, anyways, bottom line is, like I said, you just figure out what's the best way to get things done, right? And then that's it. Go from there. Any last parting questions for